Hello everyone, welcome to the Interview Hub. If you are preparing for a PySpark interview, you are in the right place. In today's video, we will discuss most frequently asked PySpark interview question along with the clear and concise answer. Before we get started, if you haven't watched our previous video on the top 5 most frequently asked PySpark interview question, be sure to check it out. It will help your interview preparation. Now let's get started. First question, what is Spark session? Answer, Spark session is the entry point to PySpark. It provides a single unified interface to interact with all Spark functionalities, including Spark SQL, DataFrame, dataset, high-u, streaming, and machine learning. Before a Spark 2.0, you had to manage several different entries point depending on what you are trying to do. Spark context for RDD, SQL context for SQL queries, high context for high connectivity. Spark session combine all of this into single and clean interface. Tab, we created a Spark session object. From PySpark.sql import Spark session. This import we needed for a creation of Spark session. Spark session.builder.app name, we need to pass the parameter here. .master, we need to pass the parameter here as well. .get or create method. Explanation of this function. Firstly, builder, which is used for build the Spark session. App name, which is used for set the application name visible in the Spark UI. Master, which is used for specify where application run, use all local CPU core. Get or create method, which is used for return an existing Spark session if one exists, otherwise create a new one. We can add multiple configuration in the Spark session, just like app name, master, config, which is one of the most important configuration. Config, we can pass the key value pair. Let you set any Spark properties like a memory allocation, shuffling, partition count, serialization, format, etc. At a Spark session creation time, we can create instead of the separation file. How to create a data frame? In Apache Spark, a data frame is a distributed collection of data organized into named and column. It is conceptually equivalent to a table in a relational database but organized for large-scale distributed computing. In a PySpark, data frame is created using the create a data frame method of the Spark session object. The most common approach is to provide a list of tuple containing the data and the list of column name. PySpark automatically convert the data into distributed data frame for better performance and data accuracy in the production. The most common approach is to provide a list of tuple containing the data and the list of the column names. Firstly, we need to create the Spark session. Once we create the Spark session, then we need to define row data as a list of tuple. Data is a list of tuple, means 1 Amol, 25, 2 Rahul, 30, 3 OV, 35. This is our the data. Third step, define the schema. There are the multiple way to create the schema, but in this example we using the list. So here is a list of the column, ID, name and age. Next thing, we need to construct the data frame. We have the create data frame method in the Spark, so we write the spark.create data frame. Inside in this method we need to pass the data and schema, so we pass the data and schema. So this create a data frame method return the df. So this is our the data frame. So how we can verify what type of the data loaded in our the data frame? We have the show method, so we added df.show method, so print the table content in a clean grid format. Next thing, display the tree structure of the schema inferred by the Spark. So we have the print schema method. So when we execute this code, we see this is the output: ID, name, age. So 1 Amol, 25, 2 Rahul, 30, 3 OV, 35. So this is our the data frame, and this is our the tree structure schema. ID is a long, name is a string, and age is a long. How to create the data frame using the CSV file? Creating a data frame from a CSV file in a PySpark using the spark.read.csv method. This method is written in the data frame. There are multiple ways using this method. Firstly, we need to create the Spark session. Then we need to create the spark.read.csv method. Here we need to pass the CSV path. This method is written the data frame. So when we are executing the df.show method, so we are able to see this type of the output: underscore c0, underscore c1, underscore c2. These are the column name, and whichever data is present in our the CSV file is loaded here. And when we are executing df.print schema method, so whichever column we have, all column consider as a string. This is one of the way. Second way, using the spark.read.option. Here we have the multiple option. First is header, second is infer schema, third is a CSV file. We can pass over the CSV file location. What is purpose of the header in here? Header is equal to true. It means the first column considered as a header. Infer schema is equal to true. It means the all columns, they decided the data type automatically. So how they decided the data is automatically, so they are using with the data, and top of that data they decided what type of the data type it should be for that column. So this is one of the way to create the data frame. How to use the where method, filter method in a PySpark. Filter method is a data frame method used to filter a row based on a condition. Where is a data frame method used to filter a row based on a condition. Both method, no technical difference between them. Same execution, same performance, and same result. Choices depend on a background. If you are from SQL background, so you are comfortable with the where method, and if you are from the Python and PySpark background, so you are comfortable with the filter method. Let's go with the example. In PySpark, both filter and where are used to filter a row from a data frame. The interesting part is they do exactly the same thing. Let's create a data frame with the 5 records. Our goal is to display only the people whose age is greater than 10. The filter method is apply a condition to the data frame. Here it is keeps only the row where the age is greater than 10. Once execute this code, we are able to see just only 2 record who has age is greater than 10. Now let's use the where condition. As you can see, the output is exactly the same. Once we execute this condition, see, the output is same. They just only return the 2 records. That is the way we can use the filter and where condition. How to use a select method in data frame. The select method return only the column or columns that you specify. If your data frame contain a multiple column but you need only specific column, you can use a select method. Here is example. Data frame has a multiple columns such as ID, name, age, but since we selected only name, the output display only the name column. Let's go to the practical. See, this is the main data frame we have. Inside in the main data frame we have the multiple column like ID, name, age, but we need just only for the name. So how we can select the name? This is a simple way. df.select in bracket name bracket close dot show method. So now we are able to see the just only name column. Once we execute this command, see the output. So this is the way we can use the select method. How to add the new column in the data frame. The withColumn method is used to add a new column or modify an existing column in a data frame. Here we are adding a new column is called country, since every row should have the same value. We use the lead function to assign a constant value India to each row. Let's see with the practical. If the data frame is already contain column ID like ID, name, age, and we need to add a country column will be added to the end of the data frame, we can use withColumn function. and every row should have the constant value. Once we execute this code, we got the difference. See, this is our the main data frame. Here we have the ID, name and age column, and this is the new data frame where we have the ID, name, age and country column. Inside the country column we got the constant value India. So this is the one of the way we can use the with column function in the PySpark. How to rename a column in a data frame? The withColumnRenamed method is used to rename an existing column in a data frame. Here we are renaming the name column to employee name. The first argument name is the existing column name and the second argument employee name is the new column name. For example, if our data frame has the column ID, name, age, after using withColumnRenamed method, the column will become ID, employee name and age. So whenever you want to change the name of existing column name in a PySpark data frame, you can use the withColumnRenamed method. How to drop a column from PySpark data frame? The drop method is used to remove one or more column from a data frame. Here we are removing the country column from our the data frame. df.drop in bracket country and bracket close. For example, if our the data frame contain the column ID, name, age and country, after using a drop method the country column will be removed. The data frame will now contain only ID, name and age. Finally, we use the show method. This method to display the updated data frame. So whenever you want to remove a column from a PySpark data frame, you can use the drop method. How to handle null value in a PySpark data frame using na.fill method. In this example, we use df.na.fill open bracket and we can pass the parameter. The na.fill method is used to replace null value in a data frame with the specified value. We are replacing all null value in the age column with the 0. For example, if the age column contains the value 25, null, 30 and null, after using na.fill method, the null value replaced with the 0. The age column will be contain 25, 0, 30, 0. Finally, we use the show method to display the updated data frame. So whenever you want to replace the null value with a specific value in a PySpark, you can use the na.fill method. How to remove a row contain null value from a PySpark data frame? We can use na.drop method. In this example, we use df is equal to df.na.drop method. The na.drop method is used to remove row contain null value from a data frame. For example, suppose our data frame contains ID1 name Amol age 25, ID2 name Rahul age null, ID3 name OV age 3. When we use df is equal to df.na.drop, the row contain null value will be removed. So Rahul will be removed because the age value is null. The data frame will contain only Amol and OV's record. Finally, use the show method to display the updated data frame. So whenever you want to remove row contain a null value in a PySpark, you can use na.drop method. How to replace a specific value in a PySpark data frame? We can use the replace method. In this example, we can use df.replace in comma Amol comma Amit df.show. The replace method is used to replace a specific value with another value in a data frame. For example, suppose our data frame contain ID1 name Amol age 25, ID2 name Rahul age 30, ID3 name OV age 3. Now we want to replace the name Amol with Amit. We can use df.replace open bracket Amol, comma Amit df.show. After using replace method, Amol will be replaced with Amit. The another record will remain unchanged. Finally, we use the show method to display the updated data frame. So whenever you want to replace a specific value in a PySpark data frame, you can use replace method. How to remove duplicate row in a PySpark data frame? We can use a distinct method. In this example, we use df is equal to df.distinct df.show. The distinct method is used to remove duplicate row from PySpark data frame. For example, suppose our data frame contain ID1 name Amol age 25, ID2 name Rahul age 30, ID1 name Amol age 25. Here the Amol records appear twice. When we use df.distinct df.show, PySpark remove duplicate row. The data frame will remain. Data frame will now contain only unique records. ID1 name Amol age 25, ID2 name Rahul age 30. Finally, we use show method to display the updated data frame. So whenever you want to remove a duplicate row from PySpark data frame, you can use distinct method. How to remove duplicate record based on a column in a PySpark? We can use drop duplicate method. In this example, we use df.dropDuplicate in bracket pass the column name. df.show drop duplicate method is used to remove duplicate record from PySpark data frame. We can also remove duplicate based on one or more specific column. For example, suppose our data frame contain ID1 name Amol age 25, ID2 name Rahul age 30 and ID3 name Amol age 28. Here is the name appear twicely. When use the df.drop duplicate in bracket name df.show, PySpark keep only one record for each unique name and remove the other duplicate records. So the data frame will contain only one record from Amol and one record for Rahul. Finally, we use the show method to display the updated data frame. Remember, distinct method remove all row based on all columns, and drop duplicate in bracket column name remove the duplicate based on a specific column. So whenever you want to remove a duplicate based on a specific column in a PySpark, you can use a drop duplicate method. How to sort data in a PySpark data frame? We can use the order by method. In this example, we use df.orderBy in bracket column name. Order by method is used to sort the row of PySpark data frame based on one or more column. For example, suppose our data frame contain ID1 name Amol age 30, ID2 name Rahul age 25, ID3 name OV age 28. When we use df.orderBy age, the PySpark sort the record by age in ascending order. The result will be Rahul age 25, OV age 28, Amol age 30. By default, order by sort the value in ascending order. If you want to sort the descending order, we can use df.orderBy in bracket df.age.descending method bracket close. So whenever you want to sort the record in a PySpark data frame, you can use order by method. See the output. First is ascending order, second is descending order. How to group data in a PySpark data frame? We can use a group by method. In this example, we use df.groupBy department.count.show. The group by method is used to group row that have the same value in a specific column. For example, suppose our data frame contain ID1 name Rahul department IT, ID2 name Rahul department HR, ID3 name OVA department IT, ID4 name Ram department HR, ID5 name Amit department IT. Now we want to find how many employees are present in each department, we use df.groupByDepartment.show method. PySpark group the record based on a department column and count the number of record in each group. The result will be IT 3, HR 2. Here IT has a 3 employee and HR has a 2 employee. So whenever you want to group record based on a column in a PySpark data frame, you can use group by method. How to perform aggregation in a PySpark data frame? We can use aggregation method. In this example, we use from PySpark.sql.function input average. df.groupByDepartment.aggregation function, we pass the average with the column name salary.show. Aggregation method is used to perform aggregation of aggregate operations such as average, sum, minimum and maximum. For example, suppose our data frame contain ID 1 name Amol, department IT, salary 50,000, ID 2 name Rahul, department HR, salary 40,000, ID 3 name OV, department IT, salary 60,000, ID 4 name Ram, department HR, salary 50,000, ID 5 name Amit, department IT, salary 70,000. Now we want to find the average salary of each department. We use df.groupByDepartment.aggregation with average salary.show. Group by department groups the employee based on a department. Then average salary, calculate the average salary for each department. The result will be IT 60,000 and HR 40,000. This means the average salary of IT department is 60,000 and average salary of the HR department is 45,000. We can also use other aggregate functions such as sum, calculate the total value, minimum, find the minimum value, maximum, finds the maximum value, average, calculate the average value. So whenever you want to perform calculation on the group data in PySpark, you can use the aggregate method. Thank you for watching. Keep learning. Like the video, comment your question, subscribe to Interview Hub.